Out with the new and in with the old. We've got a Cabal Patriarch Premodern Decktech. Let's go. I figured now would be a great time to go over my personal decks, Cabal Patriarch, since it was just printed in Commander Masters. For 3 black, you get a legendary creature, Human Wizard, that allows you to sacrifice creatures and exile creature cards from your graveyard to remove threats. For a twist, I'm only playing cards printed before the year 2003 in this build. Now let's get into how this deck ramps. We are in mono black, so we're going to have to rely on a lot of mana rocks. That's why I included the classic Soul Ring, the old bordered Charcoal Diamond, and Felwar Stone too. The other great thing about playing black is you have access to fast mana to get your threats on the board even quicker. I'm running Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, and Bubbling Muck to get that going. I also run a few unique ramp pieces as well. Black Market's going to give me a ton of mana late in the game, and Charm Pendant's going to help fill up my bin and give me mana to boot. Now it's time for the most important part of any commander deck, drawing cards. Now it's time to start with that consistent card draw, cards that are going to draw me a card during my turns. I've got Phyrexian Arena, Greed, and I think the most powerful, Graveborn Muse. I also run some creatures that are going to help fill up my hand. Phyrexian Rager is a big one, he's in every Master set. Also, Phyrexian Gargantua is going to get some cards, and Corpse Harvester is a tutor, it's even better. I also run some burst card draw as well. Skeletal Scrying, Ambition's Cost, and Necrology are going to fill up my hand in a heartbeat. Now it's time to start removing our opponent's threats. Now I'm running some single target removal like Diabolic Edict, Terror, and Icequake. Sometimes lands need removed, don't complain. Then I also run quite a few board wipes. Bane of the Living's a fun one, Nev's Disc is classic, and Call to the Grave is going to keep removing threats every turn. This deck does have that zombie sub-theme, so I'm running Weathered Rich to take care of graveyards, Deathmark Prelate to destroy non-zombies, and, most importantly, Noxious Ghoul to wipe out all the non-zombies from the board. Now it's time to get into those graveyard shenanigans. Back in the old days of Magic, reanimation spells were way more powerful. That's why we have access to Reanimate, Dance of the Dead, and Victimize to get those threats back on the board. We also have some creatures that help our threats rise from the grave. We've got Phyrexian Delver, Gravespawn Sovereign, and Apprentice Necromancer. Now it's time to get into my favorite part of the deck, the zombies. Now it's time for the zombies that tap for a big effect. Cabal Interrogator is going to make folks discard cards, Frightshroud Courier pumps one up for an Alpha Strike, and Shepherd of Arat will burn everybody out. I also run some beatdown zombies, and you know back in the day threats weren't that good, so I run Zombie Brute, it's got Amplify, Nefashu can wipe the board of all the dorks, and Twisted Abomination can get us a swamp or get in for some damage. The awesome thing about Errata is it can make creatures zombies, case in point, Eastern Paladin and Western Paladin. One can tap to destroy green creatures and the other can tap to destroy white creatures. Very situational, but very fun. I'm also running a few zombies that are sacrifice outlets. One is Carrion Feeder and the other is Nantuko Husk. They can both get rid of our board and pump themselves to get in for an Alpha Strike. Now it's time for the 2 best zombies in the entire deck. We've got Vengeful Dead, which is going to drain our opponents out every time a zombie hits our yard, and Zombie Trailblazer. It's going to give our creatures Swamp Walk and turn lands into swamps. And speaking of lands, here are some of the cool ones we run. Cabal Pit's a pain land for black, but when we have Threshold, we can remove a threat from the board with it. Quicksand taps for a colorless, and it can destroy those small, pesky non-flyers that are trying to chip in some damage. Now we're on to the single best land, maybe even the best card in this entire deck, Cabal Coffers. This is going to add a crazy amount of mana to give us some explosive turns. Even though this deck runs a few powerful cards, I don't think it's that powerful overall because of the card quality of the older cards. This is a lower power build, and I think you can hang just fine with those weaker decks. Furthermore, I've got the entire deck list on Moxfield if you want to check it out, and please let me know in the comments what cards I should cut and what I should add. Anyways, thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.